So again, these folks are resorting to scare tactics, misinformation, and obstruction. There was a nationally coordinated meeting to interrupt meetings and stuff like that. I don't expect that to happen here. We're Iowans. We don't do that kind of stuff. But I saw it on television. But this time around, they're not going to succeed because too many people and too many U.S. businesses are being hurt by the current system. Consider this. How would you react? How would you react if I proposed to you the following health care plan? It's guaranteed to at least double your insurance premiums over the next 10 years. It would fail to cover about 1 in 6 Americans, and over 70 Iowans would lose their health insurance every day. It would be the most expensive plan in the world that leave Americans twice as sick with chronic disease as Europeans. It would deny you coverage if you had a pre-existing condition. And if you lost your job, you lose your coverage. And if you got seriously ill, then your insurance company could drop you the next time your plan came around. Now, if I told you that's the plan we were working on, you'd...
That's not true.
Listen, you would say...
Nobody's proposing that.
Yeah. You would say that this is a crazy plan.
It is.
It is.
It's a crazy plan, but that just happens to be the plan that we have right now.
Your plan.
So there
Senator Harkin, you show me one good Indian reservation with excellent medical care, and I'll be the first one to say, yes, I want to be jealous of that.
Hey, let him speak. Let him speak.
If you're proud of the Indian care, then we'll all go march to the Indian reservations and say, that's great, let's do it. Until you get the Indian reservations correct, we ain't going to do anything.
Why don't you go home?
Why don't
you go home? You go home.
How dare you? How dare you?
First Amendment.
This is a public meeting.
We're Americans here. Let's treat each other right.
It's a public meeting. It was advertised as a public meeting. I'm here as a member of the public.
As I said,
You better not kick him out.
I said there is a national...
You better not kick him out.
...to disrupt these meetings.
Yeah.
Who sent me here? Who sent me here? I sent myself. How dare you? How dare you claim that I'm part of a conspiracy?
Yeah.
How dare you? If you want to talk about conspiracies, I'll tell you about conspiracies.
You want to hear what we want to know?
I'm going to tell you something. I read that bill. I don't know that you have. I'm going to tell you something. It reads like something that was brought up in the early 1930s in Germany. It is not good for the free.
I hope in a civilized manner without yelling and interrupting anyone.
You gotta tell us people act civilized.
Go ahead.
Well, the reform legislation.
Hey, come on. How about you be quiet too?
The reform legislation now working its way through Congress will do 5 things. It will reduce health costs in the years ahead. It will ensure quality, affordable coverage for nearly every American. And it will create a public insurance option while protecting individuals' choices of plans and doctors. In other words, if you like your current plan or your current doctor, you can keep them. Our goal basically is stable costs, stable coverage, and stable quality for the future. It will address the shortage of healthcare professionals by expanding and creating loan repayment programs, scholarships, and grants to encourage students to go into family practice, into primary care like here, and also encourage them to go into rural areas and underserved areas as family practitioners. It will also create a very sharp new emphasis on wellness and prevention that Ted mentioned, keeping people out of the hospital in the first place, and that was sort of my area on a health committee on which I served that I drafted, and that was the wellness and prevention portion. And I'll be glad to talk about more of that in just a second. Now that all sounds fine and dandy, but what does it mean for you as an individual here in Des Moines and central Iowa? Well, here are 8 things the reform system under the bill that we passed out of our health committee it will do. And then this includes if you already have a good insurance plan that you like, which you can keep. But if you already have an insurance plan,
Not until I change jobs and then it's gone. Be quiet, let him talk.
Be quiet, let the man talk. Hey, let this man tell the truth.
There's nothing to do with the heat, Senator.
But here's 8 things that are in our bill, at least in the bill that we passed out of our committee. And again, this applies whether you have insurance now and you keep it, or whether or not you get a new insurance plan or whatever. 1, it will outlaw discrimination for pre-existing conditions. Insurance companies will be prohibited. Insurance companies will be prohibited